This is video 24A, Basic Conjugation, Spanish 1. Okay. The first thing you need to know about basic conjugation is you are going to need this set of endings here. This is the foundation for the language. There are three types of verbs in Spanish. There's AR, ER, and IR. Three types. Okay. These are the endings for AR endings, or AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs. Your subject pronouns are on the left. I'm going to show you what to do with these so that using verbs in Spanish will be very simple. Okay. All right. Now, we're just going to pick some verbs. So the first one, how about we pick the verb for to cook, cocinar. This is to cook. This is an AR verb. We can tell because it ends in AR. So we're going to take off that AR and we end up with cocine. Now, who I want to say cook depends on what ending I'm going to put over here. If I put an O on it, it's saying I cook. If I put an as on it, it says you cook. If I put a, it says either he cooks, or it could be she cooks, or it could also be you, sir or ma'am, because you're being formal, cook. If I put almost on it, it means we cook. If I put on it, it means either you all cook or they cook. So I take it and I put cocino. This would be the form for I cook. If I take the cocinar again, take off the AR, if I add AS, this one is the you cook. Cocinar, take off the AR, and I'm going to add a. As you see, a is the one for he, she, you formal. So a means either he cooks, it can also mean she cooks, or it can be you formal, which is the same thing as saying you, sir, cook. Okay. Cocinar, take off the AR. If we add almost, this means we cook. And cocinar, take off the AR, and we put on it, AN. We have here, AR verb, AN. This is the one that goes for you all or they. So the cocinan means either you plural, let's just say y'all, cook, or it can also mean they cook. All right. Now if you want to be specific, if you want to make sure you're saying y'all cook, if you want this one here, all you have to do is put the word you all with it. That's ustedes. So ustedes cocinan means you all cook. If I want to make it say they cook, all I got to put with it is the word they. Ellos. Now it means they cook. Okay. For cocina, cocinar, take off the AR. I put cocina. I don't yet know if it means he, she, or you formal, cook. So if I put el cocina, that one is the he cooks. If I put ella, now it means she cooks. If I put usted with it, now I'm saying you, sir, or you, ma'am, cook. Okay, so this is how the verbs work in Spanish. All right, let's look at this first assignment here. We're going to do the first 5 quickly together, and then I think it would be a good idea if you did the next 5, 6 through 10 by yourself, and then we check them in a moment. So let's do the first 5. Okay, I'll zoom that in. That's a little too much. All right, so leemos nosotros. Now, that EMOS, that should look familiar. It's over here. EMOS, right there. This is an ER verb. So it's saying, leer means to read. So this is the we form of it. So it's we read. Now, those are question marks around number 1. So it's not telling you that we read. It's asking you, do we read? It could also be, are we reading? Because they are both questions in the present tense. So it just depends on exactly what you are trying to say. So that's your translation for leemos nosotros. Are we reading? Or do we read? So I want to say, yes, we're reading. Yes, we're reading. So, sí, yes. Leer is to read. Take off the ER. What is the ending for we? I want to say, yes, we are reading. So, yes, sí, leer, take off the ER. What is the ending for an ER verb for we? It's over here, ER, we, right there, hemos. So, we're going to add hemos. Oops. So, sí, leemos. Yes, we're reading. Number 2, correr means to run. So we take off the ER and we have corren. So this is telling us for ER verb, we see EN. So it's got to be either you all or they. Either you all run or they run. It's got to be one of them. It had corren, so ER for you all or they. Now look here. We've got the word they in the question. So this is do they run? Could also be are they running? But I'm going to go with do they run. It just fits a little better. So do they run? Por la tarde means in the afternoon. So this is do they run in the afternoon? So I'm going to say yes, they run in the afternoon. So yes, they run in the afternoon. So sí, I want to say they run, ellos. Now we got correr, we take off the ER. The ER ending for they, there's your they, there's your ER, they meet up here, EN. So sí, ellos corren por la tarde. Number 3, cocinas. This was cocinar. They took off the AR and they made it cocinas. So AR verb for the AS, this is you. Cocinar meant to cook. So this is do you cook? I want to say yes, I cook. So sí, cocinar, take off the AR. AR verb for I, cook. So it's an O. So sí, cocino. I can say the yo if I want to. In number 1, I could have said the nosotros if I wanted to. Okay. Number 4, it's asking, do we live in Cookeville? Vivir means to live. They took off the IR and they added imos for we live. IR verb, there's the imos. This one is do we live in Cookeville? So do we live in Cookeville? Yes, we live in Cookeville. Sí, vivir, take off the IR. Once again, we're going to add imos because it's we. Do we live in Cookeville? Yes, we live in Cookeville. There's your IR. There's your we. Your ending is imos. So sí, vivimos in Cookeville. Number 5, they have cocinan ustedes, which cocinan is an AR verb from cocinar. So they had cocinan, so it's already been conjugated. Cocina, AR verb, AN right there. So it's either you all cook or they cook. Now we see the word you all in the question. So ustedes, right there. So it's asking, do you all cook? So I'm going to say, yes, we cook. Do you all cook? Yes, we cook. Cocinar, take off the AR. Yes, we cook. Let's go ahead and say we, nosotros over here. So take off the AR. An AR verb, the ending for we is amos. So AMOS. So sí, nosotros cocinamos. Number 6, escuchas is asking, do you listen? We know that because escuchar means to listen. We took off the AR and we added AS. So AR verb, AS is right here. It's the subject you. So this is do you listen? In a statement, it would have been you listen, but this has question marks around it. So it's do you listen? So I want to say yes, I listen. Sí, yo. And then I got escuchar, take off the AR, add an O. Because AR verbs for yes, I listen. AR, I. The letter O is my ending. So sí, yo escucho. It would be good about this point if you paused the video and tried to do 7 through 10 before I continue. All right, number 7. It's asking, does John listen? Escuchar is to listen. So we got John with it. So John's a he. So it's does John listen? They put an A on the escucha. They took off the AR first. So AR verb. There's your A. There's John as a he. So does John listen? I'm going to say yes, John listens. Sí, John. Escuchar, take off the AR. My ending for an AR verb for he is a. So sí, John escucha. Number 8. This is do my brother and I learn. Aprender is to learn. So mi hermano y yo is my brother and I. So that's the same idea as we. My brother and I is we. So do my brother and I learn. It had EMOS. They took off the ER. And they added EMOS for do my brother and I. Do we. My brother and I learn. So I'm going to answer, yes, you all learn. Yes, you all, ustedes, aprender, take off the ER. What's the ending for ER verbs for ustedes? For you, plural. ER, you, plural. There's my ending, EN. So sí, ustedes aprenden. Number 9, does he cocina? Does he cook? Is what it's asking. Cocinar again was to cook. They took off the AR. They put an A on it there because it had the subject he with it, the subject L. So does he cook? I'm going to say yes, he cooks. C, L. Cocinar, take off the AR. An AR verb for the subject he. It's a. So C, L, cocina. Okay. And number 10,